That's okay. So like, what? Well, we do need to do it more often. We actually really do. That would be helpful. Okay, so we're gonna start. No, don't take it personally. Uh, okay, let's go ahead and sit on something. And we're gonna start today. Our focus is really on the internal obliques, and we're gonna work a little bit on the glute med. And both of these muscles are like our silent stabilizers. They're not the flashy muscles. They're not going to give us our six pack. They're not going to give us our tone tuchus. They're not any of those things. But they're the very important muscles because they're the silent stabilizers. They help us with our manipura chakra, so our sense of like power in the world. But they also help us with our root, our sense of stability, containment, expression. So we're going to work on those. Some of the things you're not going to like, I'm not even going to lie, but we'll see how it goes. But to start, we'll just start by sitting tall. I want you to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And the first thing that you'll do is just notice how your seat is. Do you want to remove any flesh from underneath your sit bone so that you have a firmer base? Do you need to adjust the cross of your ankles so it feels like you are in a position where you're able to sit firmly? And then notice what's happening with your arms. Are your hands open? Are they really grounded onto the thighs? Are your shoulders able to slide down the back? The heart space remain open. And you'll just take a couple of breaths here, settling into the body, settling into the breath. And as you take these next few breath cycles here, the invitation is simply to notice what you notice. Where does the breath freely move? Where does the breath feel a little foreign? And as we move through the practice, we're going to explore some shapes that are a little bit more sensational than others. But the time or the request, the invitation always is just to see if you can always bring your awareness back to notice whatever you notice, good, bad, indifferent. All right. You can keep your eyes closed or open the eyes, whatever works for you. But on your next exhale, you'll turn the back of your head towards your left shoulder. And you'll just take a couple of breaths here. Maybe eyes are still closed and you're just imagining that you had eyeballs in the back of your head and you're looking over that left shoulder. You're noticing how you can soften the left shoulder blade down the back and maybe broaden across the front of the left clavicle and then the right clavicle. Next in breath, gaze comes back through center. And then as you exhale, take the back of your head towards your right shoulder. And again, just notice what you notice. With the eyes soft or the gaze closed, we're just not focused so much on what the eyes can see, but what we can feel internally. On your next in breath, come back through center. As you exhale, you'll start to drop your chin towards your chest, and you'll just take a couple of breaths here, really feeling the weight of your noggin hanging forward and noticing if there's an even pull on the right as well as the left side of the erector spinae on the back. On your next in-breath, head comes back to center. And then think of reaching your chin forward and up and taking your gaze up. And again, just a couple of breaths there. Notice what you notice on the front, right and left. Next in-breath, come through center. As you exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And again, notice what you notice on the left side, what you notice on the right side, what's happening in the breath. Next in-breath, come back through center, and then exhale, drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And again, you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what's happening on the internal landscape. Next in-breath, come back through center. If you want to switch the cross of your legs, by all means, go ahead and do that because we're going to take that one more time just to give ourselves the capacity to warm up. So this time we'll take the back of our head over towards our right shoulder first. And again, you just pause and you breathe and you notice what's happening here. And then you'll inhale and come back through center, back of the head towards your left shoulder. And again, just breathe in and breathe out. Next in-breath, come back through center. This time your face will go up. And you just pause and you breathe. And then come back through center and exhale, chin to chest. Yep. And then inhale and come back through center. Go ahead and drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Notice what's happening on the right side. Good morning, Barbara. And then inhale, come through center, and exhale, drop your right ear towards the right shoulder. Fantastic. And then inhale, come back up. You can keep the gaze closed or the eyes can open. You'll inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead, and then we'll exhale, take a happy baby side bend over to the right. You might take some little flamenco twirls with the wrists. You can choose to go one way, you can choose to go the other, but I want you to notice the connection between your head and your tailbone. How is that side body bend happening here? Are there any twists? Are you leaning back, or is it a true lateral side bend? Next in breath, you'll come up. As you exhale, lower the left hand down and inhale, sweep the right arm up. And then little happy baby side bend to the other side. And again, maybe a little flamenco twirl of the wrists. Again, pay attention to the connection between your tailbone and your crown. Next in breath, go ahead and come back up. And then exhale, lower that down. Last thing, you can draw your shoulders forward, and then you can draw your shoulders back. And you just have 4 of those. And it's protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades or the scapula. And you're just noticing what it feels like to really feel your shoulder blades come forward and then go back. And after you've done 4, then you'll draw your shoulders up towards your ears and down towards your butt. Okay, so that should have been 4. We just go up and down. And because we're working with the internal obliques specifically today, I want you to invite yourself to move a little bit slower than you think you need to, because the internal obliques really respond to the exhalation and they respond to slow pressure. So now that we're done with all of that, you can open the eyes if you want, and then we're going to turn around and lay down on our backs. First thing I want you to notice when you find yourself on your back is just notice what you notice between the shoulders and the hips. Shoulders and the hips. And people at home, I should have mentioned this to you. Make sure your blocks are still somewhere nearby your head or your hand so you can grab them. People in person, I got you. So first thing is just notice what's happening in the shoulders, what's happening in the hips. You can choose to keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor, but let's go ahead and draw our right knee into our chest. Hold on to the back of the right leg. Take some ankle circles here again. Just noticing what you notice. And you'll do about 3 or 4 circles one direction, and then 3 or 4 circles the other. Awesome. Once you're done with that, go ahead and come to stillness here and then make some circles with the thigh bone and the hip socket. So like you've got a big giant spoon, you're just scooping out the hip. Great. And you'll do about 3 or 4 circles one direction and 3 or 4 circles the other way. And you can hold on to the leg. You don't have to, but it's probably easier if you do. And then you'll go ahead and come to stillness here. Bring your hands to the back of that right thigh. Inhale, send your right leg up towards the sky. And then exhale, bend the knee and hug the knee into the chest. And you've got 4 of these. And that left leg can be straight or the left knee can remain bent. It's totally up to you. If the left leg is straight, let's make sure that left leg is actively engaged. So we're flexing through the foot and we're pushing down through the heel and the back of the calf and the back of the hamstring. And after you've done about 4 of these, you'll just keep your right leg up and you'll take 3 to 4 breaths here. And you just pause and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. And you continue to think of the back of that, left leg reaching towards the floor. Fantastic. On your next exhale, draw the knee into your chest. Happy little squeeze, squeeze. And then gently release right foot. Draw the left foot to meet the right. And just notice what's happening in your shoulders and your hips. Fantastic. Let's try the other side. Left knee comes into the chest. Again, little ankle circles, 3 to 4 each direction. And you're just paying attention. What's happening on the subtle internal level? A lot of times we can get so caught up in the external gross things that we don't notice the things that are actually more important. Okay, after you've done 4 circles one way and 4 circles the other way, this now moves into your hips. So you now move that thigh bone into the hip socket. And again, you're paying attention to what's happening on this side. Your right leg is its own animal. Your left side is its own animal. And so you're just paying attention. After you've gone 3 to 4 circles one direction, you switch your direction. Okay. And then you'll find yourself back into center, interlacing hands behind the back of your left thigh. And then inhale, send the foot up. And exhale, bend the knee, hug the knee into the chest. And you've got 4 of these. And again, the right leg can be bent. The right leg might extend long. If that right leg does choose to be long, we want to really root through the back of the right leg. So your heel, the back of your calf, the back of your hamstring are all rooting to the floor as you're still reaching up through that left leg. And then we'll say that was about 4. And then if that left leg up, continue to push the back of the right hamstring down if the right leg is straight. Continue to reach up through your left heel. And then notice if you're breathing. Fantastic. 1 or 2 more breaths here. Gently, you'll bend the knee, hug the knee into the chest, give it a tight little squeeze. And then gently release the left foot on the floor. Release the right foot next to it. Fantastic. Let's move on. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Flex through that foot. Draw the legs towards you. And maybe you grab the back of your left thigh, front of your left shin. And we're going to stay about 5 breath cycles here. Today, I want you to see if you can really actively press that right thigh away from you. And then notice what's happening in your shoulders. Can the back of the head, back of the shoulder blades stay rooted into the floor? And then from here, notice if you can arch your back just a little bit, your low back, so your tailbone drops down and your pubic bone reaches forward. And then you just continue to breathe into that outer right hip. So Louise Hay thinks that when we're feeling unsupported, we can carry a lot of tension in that outer hip. So you're just noticing what you notice here. On your next exhale, let's gently release. You'll draw just your left foot to the floor. Keep the configuration of your legs and then open the arms out into a T shape. Allow the legs to fall over towards your left. Some of you will keep your arms as they are. Some of you might use your left hand to hold on to your right ankle. You might use your left hand to push your right thigh away from you, but you're thinking of drawing your right knee up and you're pushing it away from you. And then for today, I'd like you to take that head action we started with and start to turn your gaze over to your right. And then once you've done all that, let's start to breathe into our ribs on the back right side, really paying attention to our exhalations. We're starting to trick our internal obliques into coming into work just a little bit here. So just really focus on the exhale. And the internal obliques and the transverse abdominals, those are the ones that sort of support your internal organs staying in place. Great. 1 more breath cycle here, really breathing into your ribs, especially on the right back body. Next in breath, come back through center. As you exhale, uncross the legs, come back, and just notice your neutral pelvis. What's the difference between the right side and the left side? And we'll try that on the other side. Left ankle crosses over the top of the right. Draw the legs towards you, interlace the hands behind the back of the right thigh, front of the right shin. And really today we're focused on how can we externally rotate that left leg enough so that the left knee sort of angles away from our spine. And then notice what's happening in the shoulders. Can the collarbones, yep, stay open. And then notice what's happening in your pelvis. It sort of, to me, feels like I'm arching my back so that I can keep my sit bones and my tailbone grounded, and then my pubic bone reaches forward. And then you notice what you notice here as you breathe into that outer left hip. Fantastic. Nice work. And then very gently, we're going to release, draw the right foot to the floor, open the arms out into a T shape. Go ahead and allow the configuration of your legs to fall over to the right. And same as before, maybe you hold on to that left ankle with the right hand. Maybe you use your right hand to press the left knee away from you or just actively push it away. And then we're going to make, or not make, but encourage our gaze to come over towards the left so that we've got that rotation happening all through the spine. And then bring our awareness to our breath, specifically into our left side body, left back body, and paying attention to that exhalation. So you have a different number of lobes of the lungs on your right side versus your left side. So see if you can notice the difference. This side has our heart, so you've got two lobes instead of 3, and just notice. All right. Next in breath, go ahead and come back through center. And then once you've re-squared your butt underneath your hips, I want you to reach your arms alongside your ears and up and overhead. Go ahead and hook opposite thumb. And I want you to just reach your thumbs up and reach your butt down and see if you can wiggle a little bit here to find length in your spine. And you can switch whichever thumb is on top if that feels good to you, just to find some length. Cool. All right, so that's all set. Let's go ahead and release that. Find a tabletop or sorry, dead bug position since you're in this orientation. Cool. So dead bug, we want to make sure for today, we're going to keep our knees directly over our hips. We're going to flex through our happy little feet, and we're going to keep our thighs hip distance apart. So especially with us ladies on that Q angle, our knees tend to come in just a little bit. So we want to actively think about widening them out. Cool. Now we've got our dead bug, and today I want you to bend your elbows like happy little robots. That's clear. So you were good, Jenny. No. So bend. There we go, Erica. There we go, Sandy. And people at home, we're kind of, I don't know what. Yes. Oh, that's good, Sandy. So our legs and our arms now match. Now this is the fun part. We're going to do 3 of these. You're not going to like them. That's okay. First thing we want to do is we want to make sure our front ribs come into our back body. And then we want to make sure our tailbone is reaching down and our pubic bone is reaching forward. Our elbows are still coming in. Fantastic. Here's internal oblique exercise number 1. Next, in breath, send, let's see, your right knee forward, your right arm up and over your head. So same arm, same leg. Straight. Same, nope, Sandy, same arm and same leg.
Same.
Yep, okay. And then exhale, come back. Stay with that side. Inhale, send same arm, same leg overhead. Exhale back. You got one more. Keep the front ribs in. Same side. Yeah, we're testing those internal obliques. Come back through center. Awesome sauce. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So left arm and left leg. Keep those front ribs coming in. Yeah, fantastic. Come back. Nice work. 2 more. Yep, we're breathing. You guys are doing fantastic. I know this sucks, doesn't it? Good job. So Jenny loves it. Everyone else is complaining. After you've done the total of 3, lower down. Okay, that wasn't too bad, right? Yes.
My frustration is like I can't keep. I have a very hard time keeping the curve.
Yep. Cool. So people at home, Erica's asking for a tip to make sure that you can keep a neutral pelvis while keeping a neutral rib cage. Cool. So easiest tip for this is, for most of us, we're going to backtrack a little bit. I want you to interlace your hands at the back of your head. First thing that you're going to do is just see if you can keep your pubic bone and your front 2 hip bones, your ASIS on each side, even. And then you're going to start to scoop from your pubic bone up to lift your head up and away from the floor. And then from there, see if you can draw your front ribs into your back body, lift your elbows a little bit more, but think of arching your back here, your pelvis, so that your pubic bone stays neutral. And then lower down. You get to do 2 more of those. Fantastic. Thanks for the question, Erica. So, okay, so you're going to keep your pelvis neutral first. And then you're going to start from your pubic bone, scoop all the way up to your head to lift. From there, you're going to draw your front ribs in and then lift your shoulders and elbows up. Ha! There's a crunch. And then go back down.
So you're scooping without moving the pelvis.
I'm scooping without moving my pelvis. I'm using those internal organs to lift it. And this is something I was going to have you guys do after, but we might as well have you do it here. So that works. Okay. And you want to see if you can lift all of your shoulder blades up and away. Little, haha, there we go. Awesome. After you've done 3, you're going to stop that and you'll be done. Does that help, Erica?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to build on. Come back to the dead bug position with your legs. Grab one of your blocks. People, as a general thing, if you decided that what we did the first time sucked enough, you can do that again. If you're like, I want to try it again or try a little harder, you're going to put the block between your left thigh and your left elbow. Ha-ha! This is going to suck. Yep. And you actively notice that your right arm and right leg now mirror your left arm and your left leg, but you have to push elbow and knee into each other. Push elbow and knee into each other. Haha, high internal obliques. Great. When you're ready, you'll inhale and send the opposite leg, so the ones without the blocks, forward and away. You'll take a breath cycle there. You'll draw your front ribs in and then exhale, come back to the starting position. Great, you got 3 of those. So inhale, right leg goes forward at the depth of your thing. Stay there. Take a complete breath cycle in. Exhale, squeeze back to the midline. Yeah. There's nothing sneaky here. Nope. Full breath cycle in. Exhale, whee! All right, so I'm only gonna make you do 3. Go ahead and release that. Notice what you notice. Um, People at home, can you see or do you need me to move the camera? Well, none of them are watching anyways. Okay, let's try the other side. I'm going to watch people at home and make sure you're doing this. So now the elbow goes under your left. Are we on our left? Our right, sorry. Right elbow, right knee. Left arm, left leg match. Push your elbow into your block for dear life. And then when you're ready, you're going to keep that pelvis neutral. You'll inhale and creep your left leg forward or left leg forward and left arm forward. Take a breath cycle there. Nope, stay there, Steve. And then exhale, come back in. Yep. Inhale. So we're getting our internal obliques, and you're not going to get it if you don't stay there and exhale there, which is why we're staying there. Yep. And then inhale, exhale, come back through center. Yeah. And you're going to feel this next day. I'm not even going to lie. I felt this for 2 days after the fact. After you've done a total of 3, you come back, you relax, say bye bye, block. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how was that? Okay, because we're going to build on. Oh, geez. I got an oh, good and oh, geez. Okay, so go back to your dead bug. Put the block. Let's see. We started with it under your left. So put it under your left. Cool. So that part that we did earlier where Erica asked us to do the little crunches, you now have the option to lift your head. Now, if you find that your head suddenly becomes crazy heavy, you can use the opposite hand. So in this case, it would be your right hand to hold your head. Otherwise, you're going to inhale and send your right leg forward, your left leg long. Keep drawing your front ribs in. Take a breath in.
So you can't hold your head and do that. That's a choice.
Correct. The leg still has to do the thing. Then you exhale. Yep. Full breath at the completion, and then you come back in. And you're doing 3 of those. Hooray! And if you did lift your head, keep the upper shoulders off the mat as much as you can. I don't like that one either. You can hold your head. I find that holding the head's a lot easier. Yep. Nice, Roberta. Yep. And after you've done 3, you pause. I'm not making you do a lot of these because they're crazy hard. Oh, Jesus, indeed. Yes. Okay. And you just take a breath. Oh, Roberta seems to like those. Look at her go. And then when you're ready, we'll try the other side. So she's showing off. So Roberta, you're showing off according to Sandy. Okay. Oh, okay. Slower is harder. You actually want to do it as slow as you can. So it's really about the breath. Your body is going to say, oh my God, what the heck is this? And as long as you can keep those front ribs in and as long as you can breathe, we're getting the muscle group that we're trying to target. Yep, slow down a little bit there, Julie. Nice, Robin. Nice control there. Good job, Good job, Barbara. Nice, Steve. Yep. Awesome. And you just have to do 3. This isn't like we're not running the Olympics. I don't know if you run the Olympics, but there's running in the Olympics. And we're not a runner in the Olympics. So, and then you're just going to take a couple of breaths. We made it. That wasn't so bad. That was one of the hardest things you'll do all day. Well, maybe not. I don't know what you're doing for the rest of the day. All right, let's go ahead and put your knees on, or put your feet on the floor, bend your knees. And then from here, draw your knees into your chest. And some of you might want to rock and roll a little bit from right to left if that feels good on your sacrum. And then you'll go ahead and come to a still neutral spot. You'll slide your hands through the inner edges of your thighs. You'll grab the outer edges of your feet and draw the soles of your feet together first. Yep. And then find that pubic bone reaching forward, sit bones rooting down. Yep. Press the outer edges of your feet together and see if you can open your knees by engaging the outer hips just a little bit. And if you're happy there, stay there. Great. Otherwise, knees to the floor, feet to the sky, Ananda Balasana, happy baby. And again, you might stay still. You might rock a little, but you're just breathing. Okay. Fantastic. And then go ahead and draw your knees into your chest. Draw your chin to your chest, your head to your knees, and then start to rock and roll maybe 5 to 10 times until you find yourself into a standing forward fold. Most of you will be at the back of your mat. Well, people in person will be at the back. Yep, standing forward fold. Standing forward fold. Yeah, isn't that fantastic? All right. Once you find yourself in a standing forward fold uttanasana, you might grab opposite elbow. You might just let your hands drape towards the floor. And you just pay attention. What does it feel like to be in your body? Do you want to be still? Is gentle movement calling you? But just pay attention. Awesome sauce. Those of you that are in movement, go ahead and come to stillness. Let's go ahead and release our hands to the floor, and slower than you want to, you're going to slowly roll up to stand. Bending your knees if you'd like or not. It's totally up to you, but take your time. Nice job. And just take your time. Slow is good. Again, we're focusing on those internal obliques, and they require a little bit more time because they're not flashy muscles. I can hear my ballet teacher saying that. That's hilarious. Okay, and then we'll just stand tall, soften the gaze or close the eyes, and take a couple of breaths. All right, let's go ahead and inhale, sweep our arms up and alongside our ears. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and take a happy baby side bend over to the right. So your internal obliques are working on your right side right now to draw you. Sorry, you're going over to your left, aren't you? Yeah, you're good. And you're just pulling and you're breathing. You're rooting down into your right foot. You're drawing your outer left rib forward. Yep, and then inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, switch clasp and go to the other side. So now your right obliques, internal obliques are working here, and your left external obliques are working here. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. You're pausing and you're breathing. Next inhale, come back up through center. Go ahead and release your arms. Bring your hands to your low back. Maybe you interlace your hands at the webbing. And then just draw your elbows towards each other. Hands might reach down towards your butt or down towards the floor. Chest reaches up. And you just take a couple of breaths here. Fantastic. All right, gently release. At this point, if your eyes are closed, open your eyes and you're going to go to a wall. Grab a block or two and go to a wall. If you've got long feet, you might want to just grab both. Oh yeah, you guys can see us. That's perfect. Okay. So for people at home, I will go to the door because I think you all can see me there. Okay. So first thing that we're going to do, we haven't done these in decades. You're going to bring your back. Okay, that should be fine. You're going to bring your back to the wall. You're going to start to walk your butt down and put one of those blocks in between your thighs. And we were trying to get towards a 90-degree angle. Aha! We haven't been here for years. Okay. A little wall sit, yep. And we want to squeeze that block. We want to happily squeeze that block. And then let's check in with our front ribs, see if we can draw them back. Yep. And then some of you will bring your arms back to that weird robot position that we started with. And if you're happy to stay there, fantastic. You stay there. Oh, nice, Roberta. You can squeeze that block. You're not going to like this, but you can happily squeeze that block. And then you can start to reach your arms up as you keep drawing your front ribs in and you keep breathing. Yep, straightening them. Yeah, squeeze that block. You got it. And we're going to breathe here for 5. We're going to breathe here for 4. Oh, I should go back to the wall. We're going to breathe here for 3. We're going to breathe here for 2. We're going to breathe here for 1. Next exhale, elbows come back down. If you've got that second block in your hand, just get rid of that. Hands are going to come back to the wall. You're going to push yourself off the wall. Thank God we're done with that. Not really, but we'll come back to it. Go ahead and take your block and put it down on the floor flat. If you've got longer feet, you'll want to do both blocks like so. And then you're going to put it about, I don't know, at least 1.5 feet away from the wall so that you can stand on the blocks. Yep. Yep, with 1 foot. I'll just do it without the wall. Great. And so the opposite hand, let's all have the same one. So left hand on the wall, right leg is dangling. There we go. So we're all the same way. Your right hand can stay on your right hip, and you can maybe use that left hand if you don't want to use the wall to touch your outer hip. But we're going to lower the right leg towards the floor, and then we're going to hike it back up. Then we're going to lower it down. Keep the supporting leg straight and come back up. So Roberta, keep your left leg straight and up. We're being a little sassy, just in our hips. So remember when I said we were doing internal obliques and we are doing glute med? Here's glute med, high glute med. And glute med is happening on the leg that's standing on the floor. So, yes, it is. Haha. All right, we're going to do one or two more. The next time your right leg comes up, we're going to pause there. See if you can draw your right knee towards your chest. Hooray. See if you can create that elbow robot arm with your right arm. See if you can touch your knee and your arm to touch. Ha ha. All right, release. Come down. Switch sides. What happened? All right. Stand with your right leg on the block. Maybe left hand on the left hip. Left leg is going to reach towards the floor, and then it's going to come back up. And of course, I wasn't counting. I think we did about 8 on the first side. We did 16. Okay, Sandy said we're going to do 16. So we're just hiking and lifting that hip. Hello, sassy hip. Bye-bye, sassy hip. Hello, sassy hip. Bye-bye, sassy hip. Okay, I don't know. That's what I think of it. It's like you're sitting into that hip. Okay, so we're going to come up this time. We're going to pause. And you're going to see if you can really stabilize that outer right glute hip. And then you'll stay there, maybe float the left knee up. Fantastic. And maybe you'll bring the left elbow to match. Fantastic. Maybe you'll touch the elbow and the knee to touch without crunching in your spine. Hooray. And then gently release. Yeah, so like, yeah. Awesome. You're done with that. Go back to the wall or go back to your mat. Go back to your mat. All right, people at home, how did that go? Thumbs up, mixed, thumbs down, got a thumbs up. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go back to our mats. We're going to stand. Oh, we're not done yet. We're going to stand and put our blocks at the top of our mat. I know, I'm like on a crazy power trip right now. Yeah, right. And then we're going to just do 2 Surya Namaskars. See how that goes. All right, so standing at the top of our space. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, fold forward at your hips. Inhale, bring your heart and sternum forward and through, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your left leg back, step your right leg back, plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, shift your weight forward, and then exhale, lower all the way down. When you're ready, claw the mat. Inhale, pull your heart and sternum forward and through, baby cobra. And then exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, hands and knees or plank. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. 3 steady breaths. Here's your first down dog. What does this feel like? Do you want to move a little bit? Do you want to be stable? What's the connection between the hands and the shoulders? The hips, the ribs. Fantastic. On your next in-breath, come to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend your knees, empty your belly, step to the top of your space. Once you get to the top of your mat, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose, arms alongside your ears. Take a breath here. Next inhalation, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands alongside your hips. One more time. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms. Exhale, fold forward at your hips. Long breaths. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg back, step your left leg back, plank pose. Take a breath cycle here. On your next inhalation, shift your weight forward. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Following your breath, you'll inhale, pull yourself forward, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale through hands and knees or plank. And then exhale back to downward facing dog, 3 breaths. And you just pause and you breathe, and you pause and you breathe, and you just notice what you notice. How's the breath? How's the body? How are you? Next in-breath, raise to the tops of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, step or float, top of space. From the top of your mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands alongside your hips, soften the gaze, close the eyes. Awesome sauce. All right, we're going to move on. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, your left leg is going to come up, your left knee is going to come down. Fantastic. Inhale, reach up, arm down, arm up, leg down. Exhale one more time, same side. Fantastic. This time we're going to stay here. You're going to cross your left ankle, bring your hands to your heart center, start to hinge at your hips. Ideally, our blocks are still towards the highest height underneath us. And so if we're like, yeah, I want those blocks. You've got your blocks. You can lower your hands down to the blocks. You bend into your right leg. You can maybe press your left big toe into your arm on your right side and say, hello, outer left hip. And then notice what happens if you lift or lower that left knee just a smidgen. Fantastic. All right. Next in breath, if hands came to blocks, they start to come back to heart center. You'll inhale your root down through your right leg. You'll reach up through both arms. You'll come back to one-legged Tadasana. And then exhale, plant the foot. Nice job. Inhale, find a little bit more length. And then we'll exhale, hinge at our hips, forward fold. Fantastic. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your left leg back. Step your right leg back. Spin both feet to your right. Spin both feet to your right. Push down into your right hand. Float your heels to the right. Yeah. And then go ahead and reach up through your left arm. And you pause here and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. Next in breath, come back through center. Spin your heels to the left. Inhale, reach up through your right arm. Nice breath. Next in breath, come back through center. As you exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog, your choice. And then exhale, either lower down or go back to downward facing dog. In either case, you'll make your way back to downward facing dog and you'll just take 3 breaths. And you'll notice what you notice. So how's the breath? How's the body? How are you? All right, inhale, raise to the balls of your feet. Exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, step or float, top of space. Fantastic. Once you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. Now we just exhale, sit a little lower. Inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands along heart center, rather down along your hips. Wow, that's fun. Okay, building on, same side, or other side rather. Inhale up. Exhale, you're going to shift your weight to the left, the right elbow and the right knee come towards each other. Fantastic. Inhale, go back up. Exhale one more time. Great. This one we're going to stay. You're going to bend your supporting leg, cross the right ankle over, hands come to heart center, start to hinge at your hips. Maybe our hands come down to our blocks, maybe they don't, but you just take a couple of breath cycles here. And we're breathing into our outer right hip, flexing through our right foot. And blocks are our friends. Let's use them as much as we need them. All right. And then we'll slowly start to lift our hands back to our heart center. We'll root into our left leg. We'll reach our arms up, our right leg up. Fantastic. Root the foot down. And then fold forward at the hips. That was a lot. Good job. From there, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg back, step your left leg back. Now your heel spin to the left. You reach up through the right arm, take a breath in, lift the under hip up. Next exhale, you come back through center. Your heels swim to the right. Then go ahead and float up. Yeah. And then come back through center. Lower slowly through chaturanga. Inhale to your cobra or your up dog. And then you either exhale and lower down, or you go back through downward facing dog. And you pause and you breathe. 3 breaths. 3 long, steady breaths. Fantastic. Nice work, guys. Inhale, raise to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend your knees, empty your belly, step or float top of space. Nice there, Judy. Nice, Steve. Nice, Barbara. On your next in-breath, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. And then inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. Exhale, lower the hands alongside your hips. Take a moment to close the eyes, soften the gaze, and breathe. Great. All right. When you're ready, reopen the eyes, grab your blocks, go back to the wall. We know where this is going. Yeah. Okay. So this time I'm going to make you do the wall sit again because, well, we don't do enough of that. So you get to do that first. So we're going to go ahead, start to bring our backs to the walls, walk our feet away from us, put one of the blocks in between our thighs, and we want to make sure that we're at that 90-degree angle in our hips. Now this time for our arms, we're going to bring our arms in front of us. We're not going to hold that block because we're going to take a cactusing of the arms, if you've got the space, and then you'll draw them back together, and you'll just do about 5 of these. And you'll notice that if you actually push your elbows towards each other, like some of us that doesn't happen, but you'll notice that you'll feel your pec muscles engage when you do that. All right. How many was that, Roberta? All right. All right. So this next one, when you come back to the robot, just stay there for another 4 breaths. See if you can push both sit bones evenly into the wall behind you, the shoulder blades evenly into the wall behind you, and then draw your front ribs in and back. On your next exhale, hands are going to come back. Push yourself away from the wall. And happy days, we're done with that. Bring your blocks back down towards the floor in that, I don't know, railroad type position. And if you have long feet, 2 blocks might be better than 1. We'll start by having left hand on the wall. And this time I'm going to actually encourage you guys to step a little bit away from the wall. So maybe a little further apart. Great. Okay. With our right hand on our right hip, we're going to lower that right leg down again and then take our sassy hip away. We've got about 5 of these. So keep that sassy hip, bye sassy hip, hello sassy hip, bye sassy hip, hello sassy hip. And this is what we're going to do. There we go. Down and up, bye sassy hip. Hello, sassy hip. Okay, so we're on right leg. Cool. The next time you come up, I know, Sandy, I can't count. Why are you surprised by this? Go ahead and draw your right knee up. And this time we'll again bring the right elbow in and see if you can hug your elbow to knee to touch. Great. Now, draw your right hand to grab the outside edge of your right foot and see if you can plant the right foot on the inside edge of your left thigh for Vrikshasana, tree pose. Now your sassy hip, that's the supporting leg, has to push into the foot pushes into the thigh, and maybe you can bring your hands to heart center to hover for 3, to balance for 2, to balance for 1. Nice job, gently release. Come down, notice what you notice, just stepping off the block. We'll try that on the other side. Wasn't too bad. Nope, okay. So let's try it on the other side. So standing now with your right foot on the block, left hand on the left hip drops, and then it comes back up. And make sure, so Sandy, make sure you're going straight up and down and there's not a rotation happening. Does that make sense? Okay, slow down a little bit. There we go. Sassy hip out and sassy hip in and sassy hip out. Okay. Thank you, Roberta. So here's our last one. All right, so let's go ahead and stay with that left leg lifted. Draw your left knee towards your chest. Draw your left elbow into that robot position and see if you can draw the knee and the elbow towards each other without crunching your spine. Draw your hand towards the inside edge of the thigh, grab the outside edge of the foot, plant the foot into the inner right thigh, and then your right sassy hip has to push into your foot pushes into your thigh, and maybe hands hover in Vrikshasana. For 3, for 2, for 1. Fantastic, release that. Come down. Okay, grab your blocks and go back. So people at home, Roberta said that was the best tree she's done in like forever. Okay, go back to your mats. Now, let me move that. What is that for, Sandy? I don't either. Okay, let's go ahead and put our blocks towards the highest setting. And then we'll stand at the top of our mat. And we're gonna see if we can add some of these things together and see what the heck happens. Okay, so inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, we'll draw our left elbow towards our left knee. Fantastic. Inhale, reach them away from each other. Great. Exhale, come back in. Fantastic. This time you're going to inhale, reach the arm up. As you exhale, you're going to shift your weight back, reach back through that right foot. Hooray! Look at that. We found ourselves in a new pose. Fantastic. And we're going to just pause and we're going to breathe. We're going to pause and we're going to breathe. And we're going to notice if we're grimacing across our mouth, grimacing across our eyeballs. And then on your next exhale, oh my God, that made me dizzy. Go ahead and sip or open to warrior two, or not dizzy, but that threw my concentration off. Okay, and then you're gonna pause and you're gonna breathe and you're gonna feel your outer sassy hip on that right leg. Yep, and then you breathe out and you reach through both arms and you press onto the knife edge of that left foot and you're like, yeah, this isn't actually that bad. On your next in-breath, reach your right arm forward, lower the right forearm to the top of the right thigh or to a block or a floor and extend your left arm alongside your ears. And we find that side body stretch that we haven't done in a really long time, but hello, hi, right internal obliques that are bringing me into the side bend. Next in-breath, come back to warrior two. As you exhale, flip the front palm, take a reverse warrior. Hello, left internal obliques. And again, make sure it's a true side bend. Next in-breath, come back through center, warrior two. Go ahead and straighten your front leg long. You might wiggle walk your back foot in a couple of inches. And then we're going to bring our left hand to our left hip. We're going to reach forward through our right hand, shift our pelvis back, lower our hand to block and or shin and or floor. And then from here, we want to see if we can push our sternum forward, lean our head back, and roll our rib cage towards the left. Fantastic. If you're happy there, stay there. Maybe you extend up through your left arm. And you pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe. Nice work. On your next in-breath, gaze comes to the floor, come to a low lunge at the top of your mat. Now listen carefully. Some of you may choose to use your blocks for this if you feel like your torso needs some length. Some of you may not. So you can try it for however you want to try it, but you're going to step your left foot in a little bit. I'm not going to use the blocks. You're going to cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh and take figure four, downward facing dog. Whoa, indeed. And then you just pause and you breathe and you bend that supporting leg on the down dog to push the ankle forward. And you say, hello, outer hip. And then when you've had enough of that, you're going to step your right foot next to your left and find a normal downward facing dog. Fantastic. Next in-breath, come forward into plank pose. As you exhale, lower through your chaturanga, your upward facing dog, your cobra. And make your way back to downward facing dog as you please. Yeah, so we added all the shapes together. Almost. There's one more. All right. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Next in breath, you'll raise the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, step or float, top of space. Fantastic. From there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, lower the hands, soften the gaze, or close the eyes. All right, we have to try all that on the other side. And you just pause and you'll breathe and you'll notice what you notice. Done a lot of balancing. And I think to balance both literally and metaphorically requires that we have a really strong internal system. Our internal obliques and our glute med are technically those support systems, and there are other things that help us as well. All right, open the eyes, inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, right knee to elbow, weave. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, same side. Okay, the right leg's gonna stay tall. The right arm's gonna come up. You're gonna exhale, you're gonna bend your knees, you're gonna send your heart forward, send the right leg back. Nice job. Nice job, guys. And you just pause and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. We made it. Fantastic. On your next exhalation, you'll spin the back foot down. You'll open to Virabhadrasana 2. warrior two. And you adjust the legs and the feet as needed. Say hello, outer left hip. And you just pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe. And so you up and soften the shoulders against that. Yep. Next, in breath, reach forward through the left arm, lower the left forearm to the top of the left thigh or fingers to the block or floor. Right arm extends alongside your ears and just find that long stretch from your right arm through the elbow, through the hip, through the knee and the foot. Nice work. Next, in breath, come to warrior two. Pause here. When you're ready, flip the front palm and then inhale, reverse your warrior. Long, steady breaths. Great. Next in breath, return to warrior two. As you exhale, straighten the front leg long. Draw your right hand to your right hip. Wiggle walk the right foot in just a little bit if you would like. I feel like I'm doing the same side twice. Okay, and then when you're ready, you'll reach forward and out through your left arm, lowering your left arm to the top of the thigh, the block, or the floor. And then you really think of finding the length first across the sternum. It allows the head to lean back, and then you can rotate your left ribs under. Maybe float the right arm up. And you pause and you breathe, and you pause and you breathe. Fantastic. On your next in-breath, hands come to the floor, pivot to a low lunge at the top of your space. Again, maybe hands are on the blocks, maybe hands are on the floor, but you're gonna step your back foot in just a smidge, cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh, and make your way back to a downward figure four dog. Downward figure four dog. Well, that makes sense, I guess. I don't know. And then you just pause and you breathe. And after you've had a couple of breath cycles there, oh, it's pretty good, Cindy, and you're done, you'll make your way into a regular downward facing dog. And if you need to walk your feet back or forward, you do that. Fantastic. And then when you're ready, inhale, come forward into plank, lower through chaturanga, come into an upward facing dog and or cobra, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breath cycles there. Oh, looks good, Julie. Nice, Barbara. Great. Go ahead and take a momentary pose in child's pose. Momentary pause in child's pose. Okay. Awesome. And then let's go ahead and sit real quick. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at? For energy. I want to try one more thing, but it's not fun.
Of course, low.
10 is like, okay, great, that works. Okay. Steve is a 7. Julie, what are you? She's a 7 too. Fantastic. Okay, so let's all stand up and go to our wall. Barbara, what are you? I can't see your hands. With your blocks. We've got a 7. Oh, wow, you're an 8, Barbara. Fantastic. And Robin? Oh, Robin's a 10. Wow, okay. You guys are doing Sandy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to make you do the wall squat again. Our peak pose of the day is not fun, so we want to make sure our legs are strong. So go back to our wall sit. Bend our knees, slide our butts down the wall. This time, we'll bring our hands in front of us. And this one sucks a little bit, so I'm not going to lie. You're going to bring your fingertips to the wall, and keeping your front ribs in, you're going to squeeze your block and crawl your hands as far as you can before you're like, that's not going to work for me. And you're just going to pause and stay there. And we want to make sure our elbows don't splay too far because mine want to do that. And you're going to pause and you're going to breathe. And like for me right now, this is as far as I can go. Some days I can go a little higher, but like this is working teres major, teres minor, and a lot of the scapular things on the back. And so you just pause and you breathe and you come back down. And that was enough distraction of that. Come away from the wall. What? Right? Isn't it crazy? I can't, like, some days I can go up and some days I can't. Okay, so you're done with that. Come back to the block things on the floor. Now, you guys might, Erica, maybe come over here. And then Roberta, maybe go forward just a little bit. Okay, so we'll all start having our right foot, our left foot rooting down, right foot working. So Erica, you'll turn around the other way. So standing on your left foot. Yep, that works. All right. So again, right hand on the right hip. You're going to let your right leg lower and come up. I'm going to do about 5 of these. Lower and come up. And lower and come up. And lower and come up. Fantastic. We'll stay there. Was that 5? No. Wow. Okay. Now we're at 5. Okay. So keep the right leg lifted. Draw the right leg in front of you. Draw the right elbow in front of you. See if you can draw your elbow and knee to touch. Slide your hand through the inside edge of your leg, grab the outside edge of your foot, and see if you can start to reach your foot forward. Hello, right foot. Fantastic. That suddenly sucks. And then maybe open your right leg to a diagonal. Now your left sassy hip has to keep pushing in. And relax your face. Here we go. Gently release. Come off your block. How bad was that? Spicy. Okay. All right. We'll try the other one. So standing now on your right foot, left hand on the left hip, left leg is the working leg. Well, actually the right leg is the working leg, but left leg is the gesturing leg. So little sassy hip. Sassy hip. Thank you, Roberta. Sassy hip. Slow down there. Sassy hip. Okay, once you've done 5, you're going to keep your sassy hip up. You're going to draw your left leg up. You're going to draw your left elbow to your left knee. Slide your hand through, whoa, the inside edge of your thigh. Grab the outside edge of your foot. Bend your foot forward. Keep your sassy hip coming in. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you open the leg on a diagonal. Sassy hip on. Yeah, fantastic. Come out, release. You're done. Take a little walk. How bad was that scale of 1 to 10? Okay, let's go back to our, what? Yeah, you're gonna get to do it again. Now in the center of the room. All right, go ahead and give it a shot. If doing the sassy hips first helps you, great. If it doesn't, great. I think it does, but you do whatever works for you. But you're gonna try it in the middle on the block. Oh. The reason we're using the blocks is it makes the foot work a little bit more because the surface isn't stable.
Yes.
I mean, if you do it on a blanket, it's even worse. Which side are we starting on? Your left foot. Okay. No, if you just do it on the blanket, it's worse. It's like, you know, when you're on like a Bosu ball or whatever, it's so unstable because your foot is moving a lot because this is more stable. No? You want to try mine? You just stay. I like doing the hip thing first. It feels like it helps me engage first. And then if you're, now that we're not at the wall, you can use the, ta-da, we did it. Yay, Mom, no hands. Okay, I'm gonna try it on the other side. Nice work, guys. You guys asked for balancing poses. Yeah, I feel like Steve did. It does make us focus. It makes us breathe, especially if you're a Vata type. Balances are really good for you. They're grounding. Vata. So in Ayurveda, there's Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and then there are combinations of each. So Vata is air and ether. Pitta is fire and water, I want to say. Kapha is earth and water. But basically, like those people that are inherently generally pretty flexible and their mind is always racing, they're probably Vata. Those that are those that are like really fiery personality types and very sharp-witted and things like that are probably more Pitta. And the Kappas are like the stable ones that are always going to win the race. They're not going to be doing anything fast, but they got a lot of endurance to them. Okay. Yay, we're done. We made it. Okay, last thing. I'm going to make you do a squat. Let's go ahead and separate our feet a little wider than how hip distance apart. And some of you might need your blanket underneath your heels depending upon how this goes for you. I personally don't, but you might try it out. Now we're going to draw our hands to our hips and slower than you want to, drawing your front ribs back. You're going to see if you can draw your butt to the floor and keep your heels on the floor. So your chest will have to come forward at some point and your butt will come down. And if you're one of those people like me that you can just sit down here, I want you to see if you can lift your tuchus up just a little bit. All right, that's down. Now you got to come back up. And again, slow and steady wins the race. All right, one more. All the way down. All the way down to the ground to get out of the rain. The ants are marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. And come back up. And we're done with that. Okay, step with your feet hip distance apart. Last little Surya. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms. Exhale, fold forward at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms. This time go to downward facing dog first. Take a couple of breaths there. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down through chaturanga. Now, this time, let's go ahead and bring our hands alongside our hips. And I want you to just bring an ear to the mat and rest. Ear to the mat and rest. Ear to the mat and rest. And then bring the other ear to the mat. And just pause and breathe. Okay. Bring your forehead back to the mat. Okay, we're going to do a locust pose here, but I want you to think first of drawing your shoulder blades onto your back body, then lifting your ears in line with the tops of your shoulders. Think of scrubbing your sternum forward. Think of engaging your glutes and then squeezing the shoulder blades even closer together on the back. Reach your heart and sternum forward. Now you might squeeze your glutes a little bit more. You might then reach the legs so far back that they start to float up. You might start to engage the shoulder blades even more and then reach out through your fingers and maybe they hover a bit off the floor. And we'll breathe here for 3. We'll breathe here for 2. We'll breathe here for 1. Lower down. Go ahead and extend one arm alongside your ears. Roll over onto your back. Now, because quite a few said hip flexor stuff, we're going to find ourselves onto our back first. You just take a moment to pause there. Make sure your blocks are somewhere near your head or your hands. Okay, then go ahead and grab one of your blocks, slide it underneath your sacrum, and then put your butt on the block. You might choose to just stay here, happy as a clam, happy days. Some of you might choose to extend one leg long, so maybe it's the right leg. Maybe you flex through that foot. Maybe you point through that foot. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you draw your left knee into your chest. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you hold on to the back of the thigh, front of the shin. Again, choosing to breathe. Okay. Very gently, if you're holding the left leg, draw the left foot to the floor. Bend the right knee, plant the right foot next to the left. Take a moment to just notice the difference between the sides. And then you'll try that on the other side. The left leg is likely to go long. Flex through that foot. Maybe you stay here. Perhaps you draw the right leg into the chest and maybe hold on to the back of the thigh, front of the shin. Great. Very gently release the foot back to the floor. Bend the straight leg. Plant both feet on the floor. Now I want you to engage the backs of the hips enough to hover your pelvis away from the block, and you're just going to remove the block, but keep your hips exactly there. You just pause for a couple of breaths. Pause for a couple of breaths. Now, if you want to make this more intense of a bridge, you might decide to walk your shoulders underneath you. You might grab the outer edges of your mat, interlace the hands, and just take a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, you'll release the hands, you'll untuck the shoulders, and you'll bring the butt back down to the mat. Okay. From here, let's walk our feet to touch, inner edges of the feet, inner edges of the thighs touch. And then open your knees about 6 to 12 inches. Push down through your feet, push down through your hands, lift your hips high. So our weird fun bridges. Then hug the inner thighs together. Once the inner thighs come together, squeeze for a couple of breaths at the top. And then slowly lower down. You'll do 3 of those. You want to keep the sole of the feet glued to the floor the whole time. And then when the legs come together, really see if you can get the knees to press too, especially ladies with a wide Y angle. That might feel a little challenging. Okay. After you've done a total of 3, you'll go ahead and find constructive rest. So your feet are outside of your hips, your knees fall into each other, and your arms wrap around your torso. And now some of you will stay right here, happy as a clam. Some of you will slowly windshield wiper your legs. And by slowly, I mean I want you to see if you can internally rotate just one leg and then externally rotate the leg. So you take it sequentially, almost like you were, I don't know what you were doing, but make them separate. So they're not the same action, they're separate. So slow down just a little bit. Okay. And then once you find yourself over to one side, if you just want to stay there and take a couple of breaths, fantastic, do that. If you want to cross an ankle on top, great, do that. If you want to switch whichever arm is hugging you, do that. And after you've taken a couple of breaths on one side, you'll slowly come through center and you'll go to the other side. And by all means, you take your time. I'm not really counting, so you just make sure you're even between your sides in terms of breath count. Or maybe it's more of a feeling state. Okay. When you're ready, you'll come back through center. And last choice, maybe you take Supta Baddha Konasana here just for a couple of breaths. Maybe you just send your feet up towards the sky and pull your kneecaps up, flex through your feet, and just take a couple of breaths in this modified position of like Viparita Karani. Just to take a couple of breaths to engage the kneecaps and straighten out the legs again. And after you've done whatever you're doing, you will make your way to your final resting pose. So maybe you might want to go to a wall and do legs up to wall. Maybe you want to just take Shavasana or Supta Baddha Konasana with the blocks. But whatever you choose, I encourage you to make sure that your right side and your left side feel even. A lot of our strength as humans comes from aligning with what's happening on our internal landscape and then finding the capacity to bring that into the outside world, the outside expression, to the physical form. And so you just take your time, you find what that might feel like for you. And then you just pause and you breathe. And for today, we're going to take just a couple of audible exhales. So the next time you need to, just let the breath leave the body through the mouth. Yep, we'll just do that 2 more times. And after you've taken your 3 audible exhales, Just allow yourself to fall into the natural, involuntary rhythm of your breath. If taking the audible exhale feels good to you and you want to keep doing that, by all means, keep doing that. But we just want to let go. We want to give ourselves capacity and permission to just be. And I'll just leave you here with you for the next few moments, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Turn your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. If there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape, by all means, please stay here. When you're ready, you'll allow the breath to deepen and then allow movement to gently enter the physical form. Those in stillness, again, stay as long as you'd like. Those in movement, you'll start to make your way to your right side. And you'll just pause there for a couple of breath cycles. After you've taken a few breaths on your side, you'll start to roll your chest more towards the floor. Use your hands to press your spine to vertical. And then go ahead and take the opportunity to sit on something, whether it's a block or a blanket or a pillow or your feet. And then just as we began, you'll take the opportunity to remove any flesh that maybe is impeding your sit bones from making even contact. You'll plant the hand wherever it feels like they can rest. You'll allow the shoulders to slide down the back, the sternum to lift, the ears to lift, the jaw to soften, the eyes to soften. And you'll just take a couple of breaths here. Our capacity to be in the world really depends upon our capacity to, I guess, do a couple of things. One, trust, but two, act. Sometimes the things that aren't super fancy or glamorous are the things that build that quiet internal strength so that we can trust our inner knowing, and so that we can then act on that inner knowing. As you take these last couple of breaths here, I want you to just notice what you notice. Where in your life might you be aided by both that inner strength to trust what you know and that inner strength to act on what you know. Go ahead and complete our practice with a collective breath, followed by a collective Om. Guide your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Really connect the palms towards each other and then the thumbs towards the sternum towards the thumbs. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And then draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light, the breath, that quiet strength within me honors and salutes the light, the breath, the quiet strength within each of you. Namaste.